So we're going to see how far we get through with my marks here of the Prevention Magazine. This is the January 2021. Woo, we're starting the future, people. Okay, so let's start on the first paper clip, which I found interesting in the Pulse section. 20-minute meals under $10. And I just thought this was amazing. On page 10 and 11. Did you know that you could do a 20-minute meal under $10, which makes $5.06 is how much they spent on this meal, with a sweet potato and shredded salad, and it serves 4 people. And I thought that was amazing. It's a 5-step process that I want you to pick up this book to find out how you can make a 20-minute meal under $10. Now, they also offer lighter comfort classics, how to enjoy a bagel, how to enjoy the Asian takeout fries, creamy soup, and even pizza. So it tells you how to lighten up a little bit, which is nice. Okay, we move forward. Notice I'm taking the paper clips out as we move forward. 21 ways to welcome 2021. Now, I am going to read this one. You've heard the advice: lose 25 pounds, improve your relationship with your mother, give up sugar, wrap your ankle behind your head in yoga class. While these are all laughable or laudable goals, they are pretty ambitious, reaching too high, especially in a pandemic. So can you set yourself up for disappointment, ensuring any resolution this will be toast? Let's not go there. There are a lot of small, simple things that you can do to make a big impact on your overall health and preserve your peace of mind, no matter what 2021 looks like. Embrace your expert-backed strategies here and set yourself up for a better year. By Caitlin Peary, PreventionMagazine.com, January 2021, page 54 in the health section. Green up your home. Now, 1 or 2 leafy plants will do the trick. You don't have to create a jungle because visual complexions makes us stress, says Sally Augustine, PhD, an environmental psychologist who sets up spaces that support well-being and principle at design with science. But having a couple plants nearby can alleviate stress, boost mental energy, and help you stay more creative, she says. I don't know about that. I have a black thumb. Everything I seem to plant somehow dies faster than it should. Just saying. Paint the room peaceful. We're all home a lot right now and tense for various reasons. There's so many uncertainties, says Augustine. Painting a wall just the right shade may help you decompress a bit. Science shows that colors are relatively light and not saturated are relaxing, she adds. A light color makes the space seem bigger. And Augustine suggests thinking about a soft color like sage green and what it would look like if you mixed it with an equal amount of white. Benjamin Moore's pastel green, misty blue, and April pink are good examples of calming colors. Okay, number 3, go double or nothing. Find a friend who enjoys the same type of exercise that you do. Set a combined goal, such as jogging 600 miles or doing 150 hours of yoga between the 2 of you, suggests Natalie Dorsett, the founder of Laughing Runner Coaching in New York. Each of you is responsible for completing half the goal, and neither of you can claim success unless the other half does their share. The key is to hold each other accountable and cheer each other on. Not only will it be tackling a joint challenge but be more fun, but it can also be a good way to stay connected with a friend, says Dorsett. Number 4, tap your mood on social media. Everyone talks about limiting social media, but what I mean is noticing how you feel and after you engage with it, says Katie Morton of the LMFT, author of Are You Okay? If you feel worse afterward, consider who you're following or what you're doing online can make some changes. You can delete your account altogether if it's driving your anxiety through the roof. Our minds can handle so many political arguments and images of fake perfect lives. If social media leaves you feeling connected and amused, keep scrolling as long as you are staying present and in your real life. Number 5, schedule a preventive care checkup. Many of us have putting off doctor's appointment last year because of the pandemic. But most primary care offices have developed precautions and so patients can be safely seen in person, and some offer virtual visits so you can talk to your doctor from the comfort of your couch, says Anita Saikara, DO, a primary care physician at UNC Health. She notes that people with underlying conditions such as hypertension, uncontrolled diabetes may have a harder course with COVID-19. Aside from masking, social distancing, and frequent hand washing, another line of defense is keeping chronic conditions under good control, says Dr. Sakira. This may prevent our bodies from becoming overwhelmed if we should encounter the COVID-19 virus. Number 6, nail your skincare. While you're giving the rest of your life a fresh start, think about your skin. Establish a commitment skincare regimen, says Yolanda Lindsay, MD, a board-certified dermatologist and licensed cosmetologist in Chicopee, Massachusetts. It doesn't have to be complicated. Dr. Lindsay says you need just 3 staples: a broad spectrum of sunscreen, a retinol to reduce signs of aging, minimize breakouts, and antioxidants such as vitamin C serum to limit the production of free radicals caused by sun exposure. 7, plan just 3 dinners for the week. 3 is the magical number, and it's enough to give you a sense of control, but not so many that it makes you nuts when you plan the change throughout the week. Keep it simple and flexible, says Lauren O'Connor, RDN, the owner of the Nutri-Savvy Health. She suggests buying ingredients for 3 or 4 meals. Then, as the week progresses, you can make your daily dinner decision accordingly. Number 8, sleep separately. No need to decamp out to the guest room, but if you or your bed partner move around a lot, it might help get to bigger mattress or separate coverings, suggests Farira Abazi Feinberg, MD, Medical Director of the Sleep Medicine at Millennium Physician Group in Fort Myers, Florida. Also, you may want to evaluate the overall comfort of your bed. You need to create a soothing sleep environment, says Dr. Abizi Finberg. The texture of the sheets and material of the comfort matters too. Number 9, make simple food swaps. Eating healthier isn't about overhauling your diet and kissing everything you love goodbye. Some of O'Connor's favorite substitutions: use plain low-fat Greek yogurt in place of the sour cream on burritos, spread avocado on sandwiches instead of mayo, swap it in a sprinkling nuts instead of croutons. Pistachios and walnuts are great choices for both nutrition and taste. Add a blend of frozen banana with a half a cup of berries as an alternative to ice cream. 10, seek out some inspiration. Stuck in an exercise rut of working out big goals such as a virtual 5K, set aside some time to check out the Netflix Rising Phoenix or the new unscripted series The Pack of Amazon Prime Videos. Watch a documentary movie about someone who overcomes a challenge like training for a first marathon or recovering from an injury, says Dorset. You will be inspired to get out there, and if you hit a rough patch, you'll be able to draw on that motivation to get through it. Number 11, kick yourself out of the house. The natural light you get outdoors can help you de-stress, especially if you're staring at the artificial light emitted from a computer screen, says Dr. Sakara. If your kids are at home with you doing remote learning, go outside with them for 10 to 15 minutes during their lunch breaks. She says, take a short walk or just soak up some fresh air and sunshine. You will feel recharged and ready for that afternoon. In cold weather, it can be especially difficult to drag yourself outside, but a few minutes in nature can turn your whole day around. Number 12, take stock of your supplements. I've got to do that. I'm running low on vitamins. Write down everything you are taking and bring the list to the next doctor visit. Supplements may make unsubstantiated claims that they are not well regulated, so you could be buying something that won't work or taking more than what you need. For instance, the mega doses of biotin are effective for treating most forms of hair loss and can negatively work against your blood work, says Dr. Lindsay. 13, choose an audio call. Phoning a friend might sound like a no-brainer, but new research shows that phone calls create stronger bonds between people than texts and emails. In a time where we're physically distanced from others, it's vital that we stay connected with people we love and support, says Morton. Make time each week to connect with these people, on the phone, on Zoom, or in person. Doing so will calm your nervous system. Number 14, make your workouts more comfortable. As many of us continue to avoid the gym because of COVID-19 worries, it's essential to have the right equipment for outdoor exercise. The first winter I ran outside, I was so shocked at how cold my toes got, says Dorset. It took a while before I realized that some shoes let in air and moisture, then thus having the shoes that kept the cold and had good traction would make the run more enjoyable. Look for winterized sneakers or trail shoes. The most important feature are the things that are going to keep your feet dry, such as special material like Gore-Tex or inner and outer layers, and the things that provide traction, such as good lugs or built-in spikes, Dorset advises. Check your light bulbs is number 15. I have one out in here, actually. Sitting in warm light is a really good way to relax, decompress, says Augustine. She suggests that you look at your bulbs, and if they give off a glow that is harsh, cool, bright, and pick up some labeled quote-unquote warm the next time you're at the grocery store. If you have a fireplace or even candles, the light from those will be helpful too. 16. Make habits hold hands. When you're trying to start a new behavior, incorporating it into something that you already might do, make it more automatic. For instance, if you're doing a cardio workout, include 10 minutes of weight training as part of the regimen, focusing on different muscles groups take each time, Dr. Sakara suggests. Now, if you make lunch daily, consider it incomplete if you've plopped a serving of vegetables onto your plate, or add a few minutes of meditation reflecting to your wind-down period at the end of the evening. Most of us creatures are creatures of habit and enjoy structure and routine. Dr. Sakara said, if your brain is already trained for a specific habit, and you add something to it, you'll be more than likely to adapt that change quickly. 17. Spill it to your doctor. You've likely gone through a lot of emotional ups and downs since your last general checkup. This can impact your mental health and physical health in ways that you may not realize. Your primary care provider is a good source for helping you navigate this very challenging season, says Dr. Sakara. They may offer tips on how to replenish your physical therapy as well as your spiritual self. They should also be able to refer to you as a therapist that could use good support. Number 18. Buy versatile products. O'Connor recommends that we keep these three things to O'Connor recommends keeping on hand 3 to 5 vegetables that can be used in multiple ways. Zucchini, broccoli, carrots, bell peppers, mushrooms, leafy greens are all winners. You can mix and match everything in salads, sandwiches, wraps, stir fry, and more, she says. It's smart to throw in some frozen produce as well. Frozen fruits and veggies are picked at the peak of ripeness and nutritional quality so that the flavor and texture are ready at their best when you are ready to eat them, O'Connor adds. This will let you get your fruits and veggies even when you're out of fresh options. Number 19. Don't forget about your core. If you want to improve your fitness, training your core is essential, says Ridge Davis, a certified personal trainer in Los Angeles. A weak core is often the culprit of lower back injuries, and even advanced fitness enthusiasts neglect it. However, building your core muscles can help you feel stronger in all your daily activities. He suggests doing 5 rounds of 30-second forearm planks, 20 crunches, and 10 Superman raises a few times a day. Number 20. Be picky. Between virtual board meetings, chauffeuring your kid, and grocery shopping for elderly parents, it's easy to feel overcommitted. When you say yes or no to an invitation or request, take a moment to reflect on how it moves you closer to who and where you want to be in your life or away from what is most important to you, says Trish Leonard Curtin, PhD, psychologist and co-author of The Power of Making Tiny Changes When Everything Feels Too Much. Remember, you're not a machine and you may not be able to do everything you want to do, and that's okay. 21, and this is the last one they got. Track down your downtime too. You may be counting your steps already, but it turns out that the time we're inactive is just as important. The new year is a time when people reignite their motivation and goals of fitness, which leads to burnout because there's lack of motivation to properly recover, says Davis. He recommends using a fitness tracker like Whoop, which is $30 a month at whoop.com, to ensure that you're getting enough Z's for all your virtual Zumba and spin classes. A lack of recovery can lead to overuse and injuries, increased cortisol levels, he added. This next part I picked out was science, and it's 5 myths about sugar. It's been called the new tobacco, but is the truth more than sweet than sinister, by Kate Rockwood, illustrations by Andrea DeSantis. Okay. Some sugars are healthier is the first myth. Agave, maple syrup, organic raw sugar, and table sugar are all similar when it comes to health effects, says Kelly Pritchett, the PhD RDN, Associate Professor of Nutrition at Central Washington University, on the glycemic index, which measures a carb's impact on blood sugar. Maple syrup hits 54, close to a table sugar 65. Agave is lower at 19, but it's high in fructose, which is tied to a metabolic syndrome and hypertension. Research suggests that fructose is also high in fructose corn syrup, and it's responsible for most of the negative health effects of sugar, says Kimber Stanhope, PhD RD, a researcher at the University of California. Davis, an organic, simply means that the sugar cane or sugar beets were grown without pesticides. Raw signifies that naturally occurring molasses has not been extracted, so raw sugar, while technically less processed, has the same nutrient profile as the regular kind. Myth number 2, sugar should be avoided at all costs. Not necessarily. Thank goodness. Sugar should not be a huge part of your diet, but you don't have to cut it out completely, says Marion Nestle, PhD, a nutrition professor at New York University. The USDA's guideline recommends that you get less than 10% of your calories from the sweet stuff, which is tricky as sugar sneaks into surprising items like salad dressing, pasta sauces, yogurts. Too much can increase your obesity, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and possible cancer. 2017 study in the Clinical Science showed that just 3 months on a high sugar diet raised healthy people's risk of heart disease. Yikes! Instead of going cold turkey, take things slowly to wean your body from excessive added sugar, says the Good Housekeeping Institute registered dietitian nutritionist Stephanie Sassos. You'll retain your taste buds to be satisfied with less sweetness after a few weeks. Number 3, it's a good idea to swap in a juice for a soda. Not so much. Ounce for ounce, fruit juice contains about the same amount of sugar as Mountain Dew. In fact, experts say no one should be drinking more than 8 ounces of juices daily. A study in the journal BMJ showed that all sugary drinks, including 100% fruit juice, significantly increase the risk of cancer. Another study published in the JAMA Network Open showed that the fruit juice, like soda, increased overall mortality risk. Your healthiest pour is definitely the water. To jazz it up, try adding a few slices of orange or lemon for a fruity taste without sugar. If you must have the juice, make it orange juice. At least there's nutrients in it, says Stanhope, but stick to 1 small glass. Number 4, that's a myth. Eating too much sugar gives you diabetes. And here comes the myth buster. Sugar may affect the management type 1 and type 2 diabetes, but it doesn't cause either form of the disease. Being overweight is the biggest risk factor for the type 2, and sugar encourages overeating, says Nestle. In other words, a diet high in calories from any source, not just sugar, contributes to the weight gain, which increases your chances of metabolic dysfunction and type 2 diabetes. This form of the disease accounts for 90% of the 463 million adult cases worldwide in 2019. According to the International Diabetes Federation, type 1 diabetes, on the other hand, is an autoimmune disorder which the body mistakenly destroys its own insulin-producing cells. Someone with this form of diabetes needs to work closely with a physician to manage their medication and make lifestyle changes needed to regulate blood sugar and the levels on one of which may be eating less sugar. Big myth, or number 5. A big sweet treat means a major sugar rush. Here comes the myth buster. The opposite seems to be true. A 2019 review by the researchers at the Humboldt University in Germany found that rather than providing a quick boost, sugar made people more lethargic and less focused in 1 hour after they ate it. The myth of the sugar rush can be traced to the studies suggesting that consumption of carbohydrates could make children hyperactive, an idea that has been debunked many times, explains Konstantinos Manitakis, the postdoctoral research fellow at Humboldt. In other words, if your kid seems wound up post-party, it's probably the excitement, not the cupcakes, that is to blame. Okay. I found this to be entertaining, and I hope that you find it to be helpful. This is the family section where they can do fun in a jar. One of the hardest parts of beating cabin fever is coming up with something to do. You can make that easier with a boredom-busting fun jar. A container filled with get moving indoor games and activities your family can do together whenever the restless settles in, by Mary Giles. Okay, to get started, you're going to write some energy-burning ideas such as freeze dance, Simon Says, follow the leader, on strips of paper, fold on a roll and put them in a jar. Leave the paper and pen next to the jar so your family can add more activities when the inspiration strikes. Need more ideas? Try these. Speed scoot on a smooth floor. Designate starting the finish lines. Time each player scooting from the start to the finish and back again while sitting on a towel. Crab walk workout. Time each player moving across the room and back on all fours, stomach facing the ceiling like a crab. The trick, they must balance a stuffed animal or a pillow on their tummy. If they drop it, they go back to the start. Animal charades. Write the name of 10 to 15 animals on slips of paper and put them in a bowl. Print or draw pictures if your kids aren't reading yet. The first player chooses an animal and silently acts it out. The player who guesses the animal gets to go next. Undercover agent. Tape, yarn, quote, lasers, end quote, zigzagging across the hallway or stringing them between chairs. Then challenge your secret agent to navigate the course without setting off any quote unquote alarms. Simply don't touch the yarn. Isn't that neat ideas? I think it's wonderful. And that is why you need to pick up the Prevention Magazine, January 2021. There's so many great recipes in there, so many great ideas, and it's worth reading, definitely. So, I hope you're staying safe. You're keeping your social distance. You're washing your hands when you can't wash your hands. You're using your hand sanitizer. But most importantly, wear that mask. Love each and every one of you. Until next time, God bless.